It's 2018. There's gonna be drag kids in the world. And I'm one of them. You can express yourself however you want. And there's no boundaries to what you do. There's no boundaries to what you do. It's okay to do drag at a young age. Yes! In my bookie. Boom! You're an icon, Desmond. Makeup makes me feel beautiful. When I saw the first episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 1, I saw these queens and they were so amazing that I decided that I would take my mom's clothes, shoes, towels, wrap them around myself to make pretend. I loved it. And then from then on, I started going to drag shows. Now don't get all upset about that. Now don't get all upset about that.
Drag as an alleged art form is inherently sexual.
Whereas I feel like a drag queen, you're the embodiment of a woman, honey. But like obviously you're a man in a wig still, but you are a woman.
The practice mostly centers around the male transforming his body through cosmetics, prosthetics, fake hair, fake nails, pounds of makeup, high heels, and feminized costumes to create varied, fake, deeply exaggerated, and hypersexualized female characters in order to act out fantasy scenarios in public for pay. "11-year-old Desmond is managed by Peg Management. Their Instagram is full of bizarre photos of men impersonating females, including a photo set with sexed up, feminized males posing with oversized teddy bears like children. Desmond is being pushed across major mainstream American media networks that are supposedly dedicated to reporting news. Interviews with the 11-year-old repeat a pattern which includes celebration of the child's parents as wonderful and accepting, ascribing adult-like agency and level of comprehension to a child, highlighting that Desmond is allegedly gay and came out when he was born, and condemnation of all those who want to protect him, who are dismissed and labeled as haters."
But Desmond, you're one of the youngest and first drag queen/kids, and I've heard.
And your parents, we saw your parents in the piece that we did. Your parents are so supportive of you, but they've encouraged you to stay and be who you are. So how has that inspired you to be open? How has that inspired you to be open about dressing in drag?
They support me by letting me do what I want to do and letting me dress up and letting me play with makeup.
World out there, and not everyone's accepting of things, and some people have criticized you. What do you say to them?
It's fine.
Well, we're all excited.
This is blatant child abuse. This is the exploitation and hypersexualization of a highly vulnerable autistic child. Those who oppose the attempt to normalize and glamorize pedophilia in its many forms are being demonized and dismissed as so-called haters. The target of the criticism and critiques is not Desmond himself, but the adults who surround the small child who are grooming him for this role, which includes the parents, but also the media outlets themselves who promote this agenda. Desmond's managing company, Peg Management, claims to represent, quote, the world's top drag queen artists and LGBTQ talent and influencers, and sell merchandise on their website like this album titled Anus. Since becoming a client of Peg Management in February 2018, Desmond has made appearances on nationally broadcast mainstream shows such as Good Morning America, which airs on ABC and is the most watched morning show in America since 2012. And The Today Show, which runs on the NBC network and is the 5th longest running show in American TV history.
He loves to dress up and work the runway in drag with dramatic makeup, but only if his homework is done. That's because Desmond is just 10 years old, but he's already a social media star, and he says he wants to use his platform to inspire other kids to love and accept themselves. Sunday in the park with 10-year-old Desmond Napolis. This is one of his favorite playgrounds. You've done lots of interviews lately.
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know, I guess it's because I'm so famous and such an inspiration to so many people.
An inspiration to so many people. You've heard of drag queens. Well, Desmond is a self-described drag kid. When this Brooklyn 5th grader isn't in school, he's doing photo shoots and runway shows. He's already been profiled in Vogue. We met up with Desmond and his parents at the Fluid Project, a gender-neutral retail store in New York City.
People have done gender-free products, but no one has ever committed to a store multi-branded, just, 100% committed to being gender-free. 100% committed to being gender-free.
After decades in merchandising and branding for major brands, he conceived of the Fluid Project. The name plays on the fluidity of gender.
So popular item, right? And who's buying that?
It's split 50-50. Yeah.
And when you say split 50-50, are you talking him, her?
I talk him, her, but, I don't always know. Our mission statement is to challenge boundaries with humanity. It's about everything we do and everything we stand for. My goal is to try to touch humans around the world in a very strategic way.
We met up with Desmond and his parents at the Fluid Project, a gender-neutral retail store in New York City. In contrast to their son, Wendy and Andrew Napolis say they couldn't be more mainstream.
What does mainstream mean when the media that we consume is owned by just 6 corporations? Our perceptions are being altered, our thoughts and actions are being influenced, and we are being programmed. Who is creating the media? Who is deciding what will and won't get airtime? What will get positive feedback? And whose voices will be silenced from the conversation? Who exactly is pushing this propaganda, and for what ultimate purposes?
They say Desmond was born to have an audience.
When they handed him to me, looks like he's posing. Okay, what a hand. When they handed him to me, looks like he's posing. Okay, what a hand.
So when did he start dressing up? Do you remember?
As soon as he could grab things.
Remember?
As soon as he could grab things.
Remember?
As soon as he could grab things.
When Desmond was a toddler, Wendy says he'd sit in her lap as she watched the show RuPaul's Drag Race about adult drag queens, and he was mesmerized. What made you go, ooh, I want to do that? Ooh, I want to do that?
I think it was how beautiful they were and how amazing they looked. So I was like, I want to look amazing too.
When Desmond was a toddler, Wendy says he'd sit in her lap as she watched the show RuPaul's Drag Race about adult drag queens, and he was mesmerized. Desmond, are you transgender?
No.
But do you identify as gay, though?
Yeah.
When did you come out?
Yeah.
When did you come out?
Ever since I was born. Ever since I was born.
There are people who would say to that, he's only 10. Wait a while.
Wait for what?
Yeah.
Wait for what?
Mozart first touched a piano when he was 3.
Is it too young for a 10-year-old to be marching down a runway in a sexualized way?
I don't see him sexualized at all. I think that if people see sex in that, then there's definitely an issue on their end. Because I just see a child who is enjoying themselves. I mean, I know ballerinas wear less than he does, and no one says that's inappropriate.
Do this because you hope that inspires other kids to come out?
And many other people.
As you said, he has a big following on social media.
Wendy Nopolis runs an Instagram account with over 126,000 followers where she posts photos of 11-year-old Desmond.
What do people say?
You know what, it's interesting. He gets a lot of positive reaction, especially from other children who say, you know, thank you for being a leader and showing me that I can be myself. There is also, I have to say, a lot of negative reaction, even this morning when I posted a video on my Twitter page, a lot of negatives saying, how could the parents do this? But you heard me ask them a lot of questions about the choices that they're making. You get the sense that this kid has a mind for what he wants to do.
Yeah.
He has business plans already. You know, he wants to start something called House of Amazing, which would be an online site for other kids who are into drag to get together in social media without adults involved. That's one of his visions as well. You know, he wants to start something called House of Amazing without adults involved. That's one of his visions as well.
All right, Kate, thank you very much.
11-year-old Desmond was selected to be one of 100 top influencers of 2018 by Dazed, formerly known as Dazed and Confused magazine. Dazed describes themselves as having an alternative style and culture and say they are all about redefining the status quo. Littered in between colorful photos of the 11-year-old boy on the Dazed Instagram account are half-naked men, other minors, strange pedophilic furry photos, men dressed as monstrous creatures, plasticized bodies, and BDSM fetish imagery.
I would be watching RuPaul's Drag Race. I've always been a fan of RuPaul. I think he's hilarious. And he would be playing with his toys and he would just want to tune in.
Violet Chachki.
I'm numb from the waist down, tuck included. I really could die, bitch. I'm giving you realness.
She's got a smaller waist than Barbie.
Oh, don't sneeze, honey. It's all gonna pop.
Amazing. Work.
And I don't think he understood at first what the show was about, but to him, like, the drag queens were these, like, characters, like Disney characters, or like princesses to him.
Y'all, it's very dry. It's almost kind of like your vagina.
And like, they were just over the top, really colorful, and kids are attracted to that kind of thing.
Don't mess it up or you won't get no go-go juice.
Go-go juice, part Mountain Dew, part Red Bull. 2 drinks combined have about the same caffeine as 2 cups of coffee.
Here, drink, go.
Don't mess it up or you won't get no go-go juice.
I immediately turned into pageant mom.
Lil Pound Cake enjoys riding dirty and being a straight-up mother dick pig. Long story short, the season of the fish smells like trout.
By now, every alarm bell in your mind, body, and spirit should be ringing.
Feels amazing that there's so many other drag kids out there expressing themselves. Anyone can do drag, even a dog. Woof woof. There's no boundaries to what you do. They support me by letting me do what I want to do. And drag kids are going to take over the world.
So what do you think? Why are we being programmed to accept child abuse and ignore the signs of grooming? Are drag kids going to take over the world, or are we going to collectively say no more? Subscribe and hit the bell in the top right corner for more unique videos exposing and connecting the dots about the normalization of pedophilia, the transgender movement, and the spread of transhumanism. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. This subject matter is dark, so positive messages are appreciated. My channel is not monetized. If you want to support this work, please donate through PayPal or become a patron on Patreon. I have been banned on both Twitter and Instagram. Truth is the new hate speech. Help subvert censorship by sharing this video. Check out my other surreal investigative videos about sex robots from a perspective you won't find anywhere else. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and don't let them gaslight you.